I was on my way to a wedding when the princess was kidnapped. To avoid Europe mocking the unfortunate groom, a quick plan had to be devised to save face. It was simply too absurd. The heiress of the Hungarian crown was taken right under the nose of the Duke of Orleans. After all, an agreement had been made with the mother of Maria of Anjou. The girl was to marry the younger brother of King Charles VI of France. But who could have known that a more cunning and daring rival, with far-reaching plans for both Maria and her dowry, would emerge? No one asked Duke Louis of Orleans if he wanted to marry Princess Maria from the Hungarian ruling house. In the second half of the 14th century, the king's brother was only 13 and was merely following the wishes of his family. The marriage project was devised by the duke's father, Charles V the Wise. He knew that the Hungarian ruler had no sons and needed to pass the crown on to someone. So why not his son through a marriage to one of the princesses? There were three young women, Catherine, Maria, and Hedwig. Initially, the eldest was betrothed to Louis of Orleans, but she died of the plague. France was saddened, but they didn't change their plans and announced the second, Maria, as the duke's bride. This is where the complication arose. When the marriage plans for Catherine of Anjou were being discussed, her sister was proposed as a wife for the son of the Holy Roman Emperor, Sigismund. Thus, Princess Maria suddenly had two suitors, Duke Louis of Orleans and Prince Sigismund of Luxembourg. Perhaps everything could have been resolved if the negotiations had been conducted by the fathers of the brides and grooms, the French and Hungarian kings, along with the emperor. But by that time, all three had passed away, complicating matters. Maria's mother leaned towards a French marriage for her daughter, and Louis of Orleans' brother strongly supported this idea. After all, it would mean the duke would wear the crown. But Sigismund was not willing to back down either. Then, Hungary announced that young Maria of Anjou, the rightful queen, would become the wife of the duke from Paris. They planned to receive congratulations in the fall and then live happily ever after. Louis of Orleans set off for Buda, with his representative leaving a bit earlier to prepare for the ceremony. He participated in a proxy wedding and even accepted the crown of Hungary on behalf of his young master. The prince was held up by preparations. He needed to hurry, but while they packed the silverware and chose horses, Louis of Orleans left in September, even starting to sign documents with the overly confident title, "By the grace of God, King of Hungary." But in the city of Troyes, he received some extremely unpleasant news. While the duke was busy signing papers, Sigismund of Luxembourg had reached Buda first. He had captured Maria of Anjou and married her. The crown of Hungary waved goodbye to the slow-moving Duke of Orleans. The situation turned comical, but the duke wasn't laughing. As he turned back toward Paris, he pondered what to do next. How could he save face? There was no point in going to war with Sigismund. The young Louis of Orleans' advisors suggested another solution. A dispatch was sent to the royal court stating that Duke Orleans was immensely pleased with everything that had transpired, that Hungary was too far away for a French prince to bother with, and, quite frankly, he wasn't that interested. They also inquired if the Duke of Lancaster would be willing to marry off his daughter to Louis. But upon reading the message from France and wiping tears of laughter from his eyes, he declined. However, Louis did eventually get married to Valentina Visconti from the Duchy of Milan. Unfortunately, the would-be bride, Maria of Anjou, was not so fortunate. Chaos and civil strife erupted in her country, her relationship with Sigismund faltered, and the Hungarian queen died tragically young at the age of 24 after a bad fall from her horse.